Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the
Recording in progress.
1178th regular meeting of the Housing Authority and Urban Redevelopment Agency of the City of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Notice of this meeting has been properly published and posted in accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act. At this point, we will have a roll call, and as everyone should be aware, the board now consists of a single member, Daniel Sherrod. So for roll call, Mr. Sherrod?
I am here.
Yes, you. You have a quorum. I'd ask everyone to join now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. Also, we have a few notes on that. Public comment will begin first with comments from residents of Housing Authority properties. Those residents will have 3 minutes to make their comments. When they are done, then comments from the general public will be received. General public includes not just non-residents, but people who are here in a representative capacity for one of the Housing Authority residents. They will have 2 minutes to speak. I would ask everyone to be aware of the fact that the sound in this room is not great, and that it's very important that whoever is at the podium is able to be heard clearly and for their comments to be taken down clearly from Zoom. So I will ask everyone, please keep in mind throughout the course of the meeting, if you're not the person speaking at the podium, please do not engage in any conversation or make any unnecessary comments. I appreciate that. First person for public comment is Connie Harris.
Good afternoon. I have put in the work order, and I know that I live in, first of all, my name is Connie Harris. I live in Stanley Home. And I know that the protocol now is that when we put in a work order, we get a number for it. So I don't have my number on hand today, but I put in a work order for my closet that the mold came back into, which has been going on for 2 years now. And when I put it in at the meeting, the computer with the maintenance, they did come to my apartment and they fixed my window, my bathroom window, so my bathroom window is now fixed. I can open it up for some type of air. But they wanted me to open my closet up because I tape my closet up with duct tape so the fumes of the mold cannot come out because it bothers me and my son. So they wanted me to open it up to put some paint over it, and I did not let them do that because I'm waiting now for the mold people to come back in because they took 3 days to clean it, but the other work wasn't done. So now the mold is back again.
So thank you for that. I didn't get your name again. What was your name? I'm sorry.
Connie Harris.
Ms. Harris, thank you for that. What should have happened is they should have done a root cause analysis to determine actually causing the mold. And we need to figure out what is causing the mold before they come and paint over the mold, because all it's going to do is come back. So I do see your maintenance superintendent in the back, Lamont. So Lamont, please give me an update tomorrow through Tom on the root cause of the mold in her house, so that we can make sure that we get to the root cause of it. And then we can come back and treat and paint with some kilts so that it won't come back after we've dealt with the root cause. So Ms. Harris, that gentleman in the back to your left, my right, near the flag, wave your hand, Lamont. He will take care of you. All right. You can actually go outside and talk to Zeb right now and get your work order number, and then come back and give it to Lamont and Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second speaker from the resident list is Karen Leota.
Good afternoon. I'm a resident from Shore Park High Rise, apartment 409. formerly in apartment 1207. I
Mhm.
was moved in December because there was leaking ceilings and an exploded bathroom. Up in the 12th floor apartment, I was put in 409. Uh, Supposedly a better situation, but it's worse. I've had ceiling leaks, floor oozing. The building's been leaking for years now. Now it's getting through the floors and the ceilings of different apartments. I'm not the only tenant that puts up with this or has to put up with this. I've had mold reports from February that were in the 3500s, and then in April that were in the 6100s for aspergillus. So now I wonder what it is even 4 months later. They came in, they had somebody actually come. Let me backtrack. The mold company recommended that they do remediation, cleaning the ceilings, walls, and floors. So instead of doing that, what they did was they came in, the maintenance man had to come in with a rag and a spray bottle, and he just wiped my walls off. Now, I don't know what that was supposed to be. And the recommendation was supposed to be, after you do that, you redo the mold report again to see if it helped. So nothing's transpired. I've been coming here for months and months. I have a leak in my bathroom that continues all the time. You get junk that comes from the ceiling. My floors are always wet. You go to take a shower, you take your slippers off and you step on the bathroom floor and you're stepping in wetness before you even turn the water on. Now, these things have been going on for months and months. They put me into this apartment that was supposed to be. I bought brand new furniture. I have to have a tent over my bed in my bedroom. They know about this. They've also tried to say earlier in this whole interim, in the months, that I was having a mental health crisis, and none of the things that I was saying were true. But the mold report proved it. And I have doctors to prove it too. So I'm not really happy with the whole situation here and how things have been managed. I just hope, I want to greet you, Mr. Sherrod, and say thank you for coming in and attempting to help us, because we need you. We need the government's help. We need help here. I shouldn't have to live like this. My health is worse. My allergies are worse. I have to take a nebulizer now. The mold situation and the smell some days, all of a sudden appears in my bedroom like it's somebody's bathroom. But my bathroom don't smell like that. There's a crack. I could show you pictures. There's a leak that's been happening on my porch that they attempted just recently, all of a sudden, after a week ago, to seal it, but it's leaking again. You can see the line where it's going to my bedroom window. And when I went to tape it up, my window doesn't close right. It's so damp that the tape wouldn't fit, duct tape. And then gnats were coming out of there. So there's moisture coming in my room from that leak. And when I mentioned it to Zeb, who was there last week, he goes, "Oh, these are concrete slabs. It can't get through there." Well, obviously it is. Obviously the building is crumbling and there's leaks everywhere. You can go in the lobby and see. There's
Oh,
leaks.
I was in the lobby. So what you're
I, well,
describing, I saw, and when I went to a couple of units, everything that you described, each individual thing I saw in somebody else's unit. So what you're describing, I saw. So what you as a resident will be empowered to do shortly is consider the future of your homes, Shore Park, how you all are going to reimagine your homes. But for now, today, what I would like you to do is get a series of work orders. I don't know if I see your super in the back, but go out to Zeb, put in an individual work order for the following: check the window, check moisture in each room. So list out every room that you see the moisture. And the next work order number 3, is for a mold test. Okay.
Again, third one.
Those are 3. So you're going to have 4 work order numbers. And
Mhm.
then when you come back from talking to Zeb, give those 4 work order numbers to Tom so he can email them to me so I can personally follow up after this meeting. So I'm gonna give the team the time because your property manager and your super have been empowered to be the change you're looking for. And
Right,
it's Tom and Deidre's job to make sure that they are. Hold on, uh, we both can't talk at the same time because I won't hear you. Okay, so going forward, I'm going to ask the property manager and the super directly, what have they done to service you? And if that answer isn't sufficient enough, then we go up the chain. But I am almost 100% confident. I'm like 99.99% that that team will service you because now they have the ability to get the material they need and the executive level support to service you without interference from the board. I'm not going to prioritize nobody else over you as has been done by the previous board. So going forward, give them a chance to actually show you that they can actually do the work because now they've been empowered to do the work. So please put in those work orders for me so that I can get those work orders and I can add it to my work order list so I can make sure that when I come on site in a week, I can come right to your house and see how progress is going on to your situation.
Can I mention one thing? What they do when they come to my apartment, they come in with coats, or they have in the future with coats, jackets, face masks, and boots. So they don't get to feel the floor. They don't stand still or sit a while to feel the moisture. They just walk around and run out the door. And I had, Mr. Salen has been there to my apartment, but of course, that day it was drier in there in the morning. In the later part of the day, somehow, in the heating system that is obviously leaking all through the building,
Mm-hmm.
it's worse in the later part of the day. I have needed to use a umbrella to sit at my kitchen table, which I brought to this meeting to show. I've been here month after month after month. They've mentioned that they were going to try to move me, but not a single person reached out to me in the last 3 months, except for all of a sudden showing up last week to do a couple minor little things around the apartment. Hey, don't address the leaks,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I have new air conditionings in there that cannot bring the humidity down because of the moisture. It's just beyond, but I understand, and I understand what you're asking me to do, and I'm gonna try to do that and hope that something gets started. I'm gonna pray that you are actually really going to help us.
Well, we're missing one piece of information. Tom, make sure that they take a moisture reading in that unit in every room and write it on the work order so we can see the level of moisture in her home. So that way, if they come up in there in a suit and they didn't take the suit off to feel anything, that moisture meter is going to tell me how wet that air is. And based on how wet that air is, that'll tell us what remediation we need to do. Now, remember, Shore Park in particular needs a lot of capital upgrades. So they may be able to move you, but 9 times out of 10, that unit that they move you to
Oh, I'm
could
not
have the same issue.
an apartment in that building. I don't ever want to live in another apartment in
I,
that building. I've
I
already,
understand.
I don't ever want to do, I wouldn't do a stupid thing 3 times in a row.
Mhm.
I would 3 times in a row, no way.
So
No,
if you can put those work orders in for me,
okay,
and then get those work order numbers from Zeb and give them to Tom, and then if they come at a time when it's dry, and then a few hours later it's wet, immediately call your property manager and Tom so one of them two can come upstairs and see it.
thank you, because nobody ever wanted to do that before. Okay, thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate.
What was your name again?
No, my name is Karen Leota.
Leota. Thank you, Miss Leota.
Been a resident there for 8 years and recently moved from one apartment to the other. So, thank you very much.
The next resident who signed up to speak is Joseph Smith.
I thought I was signing a, I didn't know that was, I'm just gonna listen.
Thank you. Is there anyone else, any other residents in the room who wish to speak and didn't sign up? Are there any other residents on the Zoom who wish to speak? Seeing none, we will move to the non-resident portion of the public portion. The first is Grace Barron.
I don't wanna talk to the people who are standing here instead of you, but, yeah, I just moved back here after, 20 years being gone. I grew up in the area and I started to read about what was happening, at Stanley Homes, and my mom was a teacher in Atlantic City and students lived there, and I saw it all boarded up and I was like, what the heck is happening here? And yeah, it was just heartbroken to read about like these conditions that people, have been living in, that they've been begging for help for. Obviously the state change, I guess, we'll see what happens with that. When I lived in Atlantic City before, the state took over the school system and that did not go well either. So forgive me if I don't have faith, although I absolutely hope that like these people get what they absolutely need. I have seen this sort of thing happen in the community I'm moving from. And when I was reading about this, it seems like there's like a developer called Michael Industries that's supposed to come in for this like public-private partnership. And that normally just means gentrification and displacement of people who live in the community. They did the same thing at the housing projects where I came from, and that people didn't get to move back in. They told them they were gonna get to move back in and they never did. And then they just built condos and wealthy people live there now. And so when I saw that, I just know that like affordable housing is a crisis, and homelessness is up 60% in Atlantic County. And I just came here to meet my neighbors since I'm new again and see like what I can do to organize with y'all and yeah, hear about what you've been going through. Because you guys know exactly what you need for your communities way more than like somebody who's on Zoom that I don't know, maybe you live in Atlantic City, but I don't know. But yeah. Thank you. Need someone to go later.
All right, the next person who has signed up to speak, Matt Doherty, I believe is on Zoom.
Thank you, Mr. Sherrod, for the opportunity to address you tonight. As Mr. Lucre said, my name is Matt Doherty. I'm the former executive director of the Atlantic City Housing Authority. I was fired by the board back in September of 2023 when I talked about the corruption and the fraud, particularly within the procurement division of the Housing Authority and its negative impact on the residents. The residents, as you can hear, and I'm sure you've already heard, have been suffering for many, many years under the leadership of a failed board. So I appreciate you taking over. I thank you and your team for doing that. I also want to applaud you for your resolutions tonight, terminating service with Jerry Volpe, John Clark, and Diane Johnson, 3 consultants who were hired by the board previous to you coming on and taking over. I would also suggest, if possible, to claw back any of the monies that were paid to them. Those monies could have been much better spent on rehabilitating units in both Stanley Homes Village and also the other properties as well. Also, I bring to your attention that what those 3 consultants did and the board all operated within a legal framework put together by the special counsel, Joe Manfredi, and your general counsel, Rick DeLucre. So I would recommend that service would also be terminated with them as well as a step of moving forward as a housing authority to start to resolve the issues that plague the residents living in the authority. Again, thank you for the opportunity to talk with you tonight, and I wish you the absolute best of luck, and I wish the residents nothing but the best as well. Thank you, sir.
The next speaker is Charlie Cradaville.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. My name's Charlie Cradaville. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, a community news outlet here in New Brunswick. I want to wish Mr. Sherrod all the best and appreciate you hearing from me today. I had just a few questions. Hopefully you can answer. Open Public Records Act requests, should they still be directed to Ms. Beth Ann Shample?
Yep.
Great. And does the Atlantic City Housing Authority still retain the role as Atlantic City's redevelopment agency?
So far, we haven't terminated that role.
Okay. And I wanted to address some of the items that the prior speaker spoke about, 9932, 9934, and 9935. I'm not sure if you were planning to address them in detail when you get to them on the agenda, but I, for one, am very interested in the reason for terminating those contracts with the certain vendors, consultants, et cetera. I'm particularly interested in Sunbelt Industries. So can you enlighten me as to the reason for terminating these three contracts tonight?
The public reason is listed in the resolutions, which will be posted after the meeting as soon as I authorize them.
Okay, so the resolutions themselves will be on the website this evening.
Beth Ann, how fast do we put the resolutions up? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Friday afternoon.
The public reason will be posted by Friday afternoon.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and I just want to close by giving my contact information if I can ever be of assistance, or if you have something you think I should know as a news reporter. My phone number is 732-993-9697, and I can be reached via email at editor, E-D-I-T-O-R, at newbrunswicktoday.com. And I would appreciate it if you do have any announcements that you are sharing with the press, that you include me on those announcements and keep me informed. I've been following this story from afar, and I really appreciate you hearing from me today. Thanks, and again, good luck. Best wishes to you.
That was the final listed non-resident speaker. Are there any non-residents in the room who wish to speak? Well, I think so. Seeing none. Are there any non-residents on the Zoom who have not yet spoken and wish to speak? No? Very well, and that will conclude the public portion. That brings us to item 4 on the agenda, which is approval of the minutes of the July 24th, 2025 regular meeting, open session, and the July 29th, 2025 special meeting, open session. And sorry, I'm being told, and the closed sessions for both. They are sent to the board for action, or given the nature of the minutes that preceded Sherrod's arrival, perhaps they simply read into the record that those minutes are part of packet.
Yes, they can be read into the record as being part of the board packet.
Thank you, Mr. Sherrod. Next, item number 5, reports of the board committees. It is my understanding there are presently no board committees.
That is correct.
Thank you. Brings us to item 6, report of the treasurer.
The report was submitted to the board. I just have one special note for the proposed payment schedule. That's one of the resolutions that out of the $708,000 that's being proposed to be paid, we're drawing for use of capital funds of $266,000 that were eligible. Some were appliances, A&E, and some HVAC
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 7, reports of the secretary.
Okay, so this is my August 28th, 25 Secretary's report. Keeping with the same formatting as per usual, we'll begin with Stanley Homes. The heat and hot water has been stabilized. However, we have a redundancy plan that's being developed with coordination from our project manager, architectural and engineering firm, or A&E for short, and as well as administrative staff to prepare for the immediate mitigation of underground piping issues in the future. In short, we want to be prepared and make sure that we're in the position of restoration of water as a result of underground piping. We are currently working with our redevelopment consultant on a Section 18 demolition plan for the third village only, so that we can present same and get input on that. Currently, the primary action item is our Part 58 environmental review, which has to be scheduled. And that will identify any environmental concerns that may exist. Security of the third village. We have submitted a permit application to the city for fencing, which will be installed by a fencing contractor to limit the amount of foot traffic that is going on at the third village, which has led to other concerns such as vagrancy, break-ins, other criminal activity. We had previously solicited for door and window security. That bid unfortunately produced 0 complete responses, and rather than rebidding, we are going to be ordering additional supplies on an emergent basis so we can complete the order of those units. We actually met with Chief Sarkos of the Atlantic City Police Department to discuss alternative security measures that we can put in place for the on the finance side, for procurement, we have previously announced that we had awarded a contract for landscaping. That company is now active. The solicitations for annual audit produced 0 responses whatsoever, so we're putting that one back out. We accepted bids this week for fee accounting and elevator preventative maintenance and repairs. We anticipate that those will be on the agenda for the September board meeting. We are also in the process of revising our budget to identify operational cost savings opportunities so funds can be properly reprogrammed, and that will produce tangible improvements with the quality of life of our residents. The capital fund summary report, as our CFO mentioned, has been included in tonight's board package. That is also part of our analysis to make sure that we are positioning the funding that we do have available to us in the best possible way to. Topic of discussion in previous board meetings has been the fiscal needs assessments. As previously mentioned, they have been completed. They have been under review. And we've been sharing those with HUD to prioritize capital action items while we develop our repositioning plans. As has been previously mentioned, we have well over $200 million in immediate identified capital needs at all of our sites. Repositioning plans take the shape of many different pathways forward. What they do is they generate funds that we do not have access to be able to address this. We currently have 17 vacant units that are presently being turned for occupancy. Our maintenance director has advised me that the draft format for a more detailed unit turn status report was almost complete. We also have multiple heating and plumbing action items underway for our heating season by both our boiler and plumbing contractors. Those actually I should put this in those, but those are for all of our properties, not just the other. Our 5-year and our annual plans have been posted for public review. Those do contain capital action items, but as I stated, we are constantly assessing what our capital needs are so that we can make the most use of the fund. We also recently conducted a resident leader meeting over at Jeffrey's Tower. That conversation was actually about a lot of different items. But the primary focus of that was the formation of a resident advisory board, as well as a jurisdictional resident council. On the personnel side, we have posted for an internal position in procurement. We are now going to be entering our second round of postings for human resources as well. And part of the process and coordination with HUD is evaluating our contracted services to convert those to in-house positions where possible. And we do anticipate expansion of our in-house personnel in the area. By executive.
Moving on, item 9 on our agenda, other business and communication. There appear to be none. That brings us to item 10, which are the draft resolutions proposed for adoption. Tonight, there are 11 of them, numbered sequentially 9925 through 9935. And I would note before we move into them that because we now have a one-member board, we're going to approach them a little differently. There won't be a motion in a second. The resolution will be read by title, and then action will be taken by Mr. Sherrod, CC State. Resolution 9925 is a resolution acknowledging and accepting the August 19th, 2025 declaration of emergency, ratifying and approving the emergency actions and contracts pursuant to that declaration for the immediate purchase of materials to secure vacant units at Stanley Homes Village 3. Now.
You ready for me to approve it?
We are, yes.
Okay, approved, but I just want to make a comment so that the residents know. The reason we're doing this emergency procurement is one, Stanley Homes 3 is a hazard and it needs to be secured. The previous board was considering spending up to $500,000 of your agency's capital fund. But in talking with the team, including Lamont, wave your hand, Lamont, and Zeb, the team can actually do it for about 5 times less than what the previous board was considering to approve. While we're going to be adding some fencing and things that Tom was talking about, this is one of the examples of the team coming up with a more viable idea, and all we had to do was act. So going forward, you will see a lot of that happening where we simply are asking the team, we're asking the residents, hey, can we do this better than spending goo gobs of money on stuff that we don't need to spend goo gobs of money on? And I know goo gob ain't a technical word, but I think everybody understands what I'm saying. So that's where this action came from. So approved. And by the way, everybody, I did read every last piece of paper for every resolution. So I want to make sure I read that into the record, that I read every last piece of paper.
Next up, resolution 9926, which is a resolution adopting 2024 annual audit.
Approved. And once we post it to the website, I want everybody to read it because I want you all to generate a lot of questions that's going to require some answers. Hopefully you generate more questions than I generated, but I want you all to read it because it is public. And I want you to see what the agency did last year for 2024 so that you can hold us accountable for 2025 going forward. Did I say approve? Approved.
Okay. Next up, resolution 9927, a resolution designating the ACHA receiver and executive director as authorized signatories for all banking and other financial accounts.
Approved. Just so you all know, we fired the board, so I got to sign for everything. So this is a technical exercise. My signature got to go on everything, and trust me, I ain't going to jail over $10. So we're gonna make sure that all this money is legit.
Next resolution 9928, a resolution exercising the option to extend the contract with Calvi Electric Company for on-call electrical services and repairs for a 3rd year.
Approved. Thus far, I've been impressed with their work, residents, so I feel comfortable allowing them to continue to service you all.
Next resolution 9929 is a resolution exercising the option to extend the contract with Kisby Lee's Mechanical LLC, trading as Kisby Shore Corp, for on-call plumbing services and repairs for a 3rd year.
Approved. Again, residents, I've been satisfied with their work thus far. That don't mean I might be not after this year, but so far they've been all right in order for us to continue. So approved for them to continue for this next year.
Thank you. Resolution 9930 is a resolution approving and authorizing the award of a contract to KEPT, that's KEPT, companies for trash chute cleaning and repairs.
Approved. I'm pretty sure from the complaints I got from the residents living at Inlet, JPW, Jeffries, Shore Park. Yeah, those four high rises, they were not happy with the smells coming out of the chutes. So this should alleviate the smells. Now, residents, you're gonna have to hold your neighbors accountable. They can't be putting grease and all kind of other stuff that I can't mention on camera down the chutes. So we're gonna clean it, but it's gonna be up to you all to help maintain it.
Next resolution, 9931, is a resolution terminating the Stanley Homes Village Resident Transfer Plan.
So this is a technical exercise, residents. That issue that caused the relocation is no longer there, Stanley 3. So we got to terminate this one so that we can create a new one. So approved.
Thank you. Next, resolution 9932, a resolution terminating the contract of Governance and Fiscal Affairs LLC and rescinding resolutions numbers 9907-06-25 and 9913-07-25.
Approved. This is in the best interest of the housing authority going forward.
Okay. Resolution 9933, a resolution approving the attached pre-check rating report and disbursements of bills thereof.
I read all the bills associated with this 702,000 and some change monthly bill report. While I did have some questions, I didn't have enough to hold it up. So I'm going to approve it, but that number should be coming down next week now that we ain't going to be cutting certain checks going forward.
Next is resolution 9934. This is a resolution terminating the contract of EMF Consulting Group for HUD compliance consulting services.
Okay, HUD is here. This one is approved.
And the final resolution from the agenda, 9935, a resolution terminating the contract with Sunbelt Industries, Inc. for management consulting services.
HUD is here. This is approved.
That concludes the resolutions, brings us to item 11, good and welfare.
So for the good of the residents, I want you all to know that the housing authority is being required to engage with you all more. And when I say engage, I'm talking about an organic engagement. Your property managers, your maintenance superintendents, Deidre outside, Zeb outside, and that man sitting next to your very competent lawyer is responsible for you all, and more importantly, engaging with you all. They've been empowered to be that difference that you've been looking for. Now that's a two-way street, my residents. That's why I'm making sure this is recorded so everybody can hear me say it. It's a two-way street. You all are also empowered to be the change in your communities. As the young lady said earlier, I don't live in the developments. All right? I don't. I'm dependent on you all as the residents to tell me how we can be better, how we can get better, and more importantly, how we can do better. So you all are going to be empowered to be that change as well. Nobody can advocate for you better than you. I don't care what any community activist says. I don't care what any neighbor says. You all can advocate for yourselves better than anybody else. That being said, you do have some really strong advocates. I got to give a public shout out to Mr. Steve Young. He is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that you all are taken care of. And we're going to figure out a way to make sure that he's engaged with you all going forward. But at the end of the day, residents, you all are empowered to be the change that your property managers, all the property managers wave at everybody, because I see 3 or 4 of y'all in the back say, hey. I see y'all in the back. Supers, wave at everybody, say, hey. Brown shirts, there you go. That's the team of ACHA success right there. Tom, wave at everybody. And then the lawyer is going to keep everybody in check. Lawyer, wave at everybody. Right? So going forward, this is the ACHA success right there. That's the foundation. All we're here to do is just to make sure everybody do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, some people might disappear, but that's part of the reason we're here. So at the end of the day, power for the good and welfare of the Atlantic City Housing in all of our communities to be that change, to make sure that you all are representing your communities the best that you can. You will see us popping around, asking questions, holding people accountable, but more importantly, you all have to hold each other accountable in order for that change to happen for the good and welfare of Atlantic City Housing Authority.
That brings us to the final item on the agenda, which is adjournment.
Approved.
Thank you. That concludes our meeting.
Thank y'all. I'll see y'all in a week.